the 20. They're chasing him. They're not going to get him. Waving his arms. Bare chested. Somebody stop that man. Oh, they got him. Oh, they got him. They're coming from the left. Oh, they got him. Bang, bang, bang in his chest. Bang, bang. The guy is drunk.
Welcome to another episode of Fantasy and Chill. We are almost done with the regular season of fantasy football here. We are going to talk about Week 11 tonight. Look at Week 12 moving forward. I am your host or quarterback. What do you want me to say, Britt?
I'm Ryan Keller.
I'm your quarterback, Ryan.
Mr. Keller.
Joined by Britt, who has a very important matchup tonight, going down to the wire.
What up, play boys, play girls?
And joined by producer Matt.
What up, play girls, play boys?
You got it backwards, but
That's the
No,
point.
that's what he does. He changes up one little thing
Okay.
every week.
You know what? You're right, Britt.
No, you're right, Matt.
y'all are both right.
I'm trying to recover from my scooter accident. Britt didn't get to hear about that part, but
Oh, yeah.
Wait, do what now?
I'll tell the story. Well, I had a different perspective than Matt, but so for those of the weekend in Louisiana at the casino, saw Tom Segura, little comedy action. Played some blackjack. Played a lot of blackjack. Britt played a little bit of the slots.
Hey, not to be confused with the sluts.
Oh.
that too.
But last night we were playing, or not last night. The last night we were there, Saturday night, playing some video blackjack, sitting around the machine. Matt got ran over by an old guy in a motorized cart.
Yep.
Guy was like sitting in the row behind us, and I guess he like accidentally hit the trigger to go. just fucking gunned it and ran over Matt's foot, and like got stuck on his foot,
Oh, like you fell down, or like it was just on your foot?
No,
just on top of him.
it was like 300 pounds on my middle toe.
Oh, fuck.
Matt had to just physically pick him up and take him off his foot.
Jesus.
Did that guy even apologize?
I think his wife did for him.
Was he fucked up?
He was 90.
Yeah, were you like, that dude's so old, who gives a shit? Like,
Yeah.
it's not his fault.
When you're 90, you could just get away with anything you want.
That is true.
He probably did it on purpose, to be honest.
Fucking hippie.
But kind of recap. I had a good weekend at the casino. I left with more money that I brought in my wallet. I'll clarify. Britt will claim that I did lose money because I had to pay for the hotel. I think Britt did not too good. Matt had a terrible time. So
I had a good time. I just,
Kind of sums up the fantasy week for us too, to be honest.
Run over by a scooter. We'll see. Mine's still out for.
That's what I'm saying. Like yours is not too bad, not too good. We'll see.
No, it's been
Well, let's go
very
ahead
bad
and-
so far, but it could be better tonight.
Well, it's just not that bad because you're playing
I mean, I lost Marlon Mack and James Conner, so pretty bad.
you know. Let's go ahead and get started with our
Fantasy.
Just
studs.
Fantasy.
I don't know why it's cutting off the last part, but fantasy studs.
Studs. So our first two studs are two quarterbacks. They were actually so Matt played. We'll get into our GFA, but basically Matt played Austin this week. Austin has both of these quarterbacks, so it really didn't matter which one he started. Would have been good for him. But the first quarterback stud is the quarterback of the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen, who is 21 of 33 for 256 yards and 3 touchdowns. Also added 7 carries for 56 yards and a touchdown. I think I saw this was his higher passer rating ever recorded. I think I saw another stat that he's now gone 5 straight weeks without throwing an interception. So Josh Allen is turning it on at the right time. Got to be broken into the top 10 in quarterbacks now. I didn't check, but just thinking off the top of my head, he's got to be a top 10 quarterback. Been solid lately. Do we think he's going to keep doing that going forward? I think their schedule's pretty easy, right, Britt?
I don't even know, but I mean, don't you just think this is a product of facing Miami?
Well, that's what I'm
Except
getting at.
for
If it's
Sam
schedule.
Darnold.
I mean, basically since the bye week, he's gone 21, 17, 18, 25, 35. And they
Pretty
have
solid.
Denver. Dallas. Well, then they got Baltimore, Pitt, New England.
Pretty
So-
tough schedule remaining.
Maybe 3 of the top defenses right there.
Yeah. But, I mean, he's been solid. His floor has been 8 this year. So, I mean, if you have someone else like, I don't know, Matt Ryan or Russell Wilson, you're obviously playing them over him, but he could be a streamer for sure.
Yeah, you talked about the solid floor. He does now. He's not Lamar Jackson, but he does get some rushing yards every game. He can run it in. He's got to be close to the top of the league in rushing touchdowns for a quarterback.
He is at the top. Number
He's at
6
the top.
overall in rushing touchdowns.
Wow.
Got 7.
Jesus.
There you go.
Pretty good when you can run the ball in and throw it.
Some great analysis there.
It's pretty good when you can put points on the board. Let me just tell you that.
As our resident Bills Mafia guy, you like what you see out of your boy Josh Allen, Matt?
I mean, I did own him earlier this year. I just dropped him because Russell Wilson was playing better. But yeah, he's been solid.
There you have it.
This is kind of the guy you're looking for when you draft in the late rounds. You want a running quarterback that's going to get you that solid floor, and maybe get you some
Amen,
passing
brother.
yards on top of that.
Let's go to the next quarterback stud we were talking about. That is Dak Prescott of the Dallas Cowboys. 29 of 6, 444 yards and 3 touchdowns. Also added 6 carries for 18 yards. Dak is another guy who has turned it on lately. His agent had to be thrilled with this performance because he is looking to get paid. And that was maybe one of his best games he's ever had in his career. I mean, had to be up there in yardage, 444. He had that one game last year, I guess, where he had a shit ton of yards. That Amari Cooper game.
Britt knows all about that one.
Sir.
Yeah. I still don't know if I can believe in him though.
That's the thing. Turpin in our league just traded for him. And I kind of called him stupid in this or that words. But he's got New England, Buffalo, Chicago, and then the Rams up all these next 4 weeks. 2 of those are on the road. New England and Chicago both on the road. So I don't know. I still
Yeah,
feel like
those
you have to
aren't-
start him with his track record, but I mean, those are tougher defenses.
Yeah, he's got a pretty tough playoff schedule. Buffalo, Chicago, Rams. Then he does have Philly, week 16, if you were to make it to the Super Bowl. But Philly's defense has gotten better lately. So
Yes.
I know who's hating it
I don't know.
though.
He was what?
The Zeke owners right now. I mean, I guess Zeke
Yeah.
did score.
He did score, but he's not. He hasn't been the focal point.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
I think the Cowboys kind of learned from last week when they were letting Dak throw the ball. And they were actually doing pretty well. And then for some reason, they just started pounding the ball with Zeke. And that's how they ended up losing the game.
Yeah,
So this
Kellen
week-
Moore got a lot of criticism for that.
Yeah. So this week, they're just like, fuck it, Dak. Show me what you got. And he did.
And he showed you.
Turpin had him on
Who do
his
you like
bench.
better moving forward, Josh Allen or Dak Prescott?
Probably going to go with
no.
Dak just because he has better weapons. But
If you're watching Monday Night Football, Tyreek Hill just came up lame on a route.
Ruh-roh.
and Damian Williams just got pulled for a holding call.
Well, it's a long night, Britt. The night is young.
It is.
All it takes is one.
Speaking
Ooh,
of-
that's a hand.
Speaking of terrible penalties, did you at least catch the Hopkins pass interference
Yeah, I
or
saw that.
non-call?
Oh, that was terrible, dude.
It's like, why even have the rule? If that's not going to get overturned, then nothing will. So
Yeah, it's so stupid. It's like the NFL is telling them, hey, don't call it unless they're just like the Saints game, basically. That's the only reason the rule's in.
Well, I imagine they're
But
just
now
going to
they're-
remove it next year.
they're never going to overturn because they don't want to upstage the refs. So.
Exactly. Well, they did overturn one this weekend. Fuck, I forget what game it was, but it was
Yeah, they
pretty
overturned
bad.
it, and
too.
it wasn't near as bad as the Hopkins
No,
one.
not near. Dude, that guy was all over Hopkins before the ball was even like 5-6 yards away.
All over, maybe the best receiver, at least top 5 in the league, and he's not like they always hear about. Superstar calls. It's like, can you get a fucking call?
Nah, he ain't
Let's
getting
go.
shit.
I guess at least
Ridiculous.
it didn't end up mattering. When you
Yeah,
lose by
we
30
got our asses
points.
kicked, so If we would have lost by a touchdown, then we could maybe say something, but
Yeah.
wasn't
I mean,
pretty.
Texans scored a touchdown. That's kind of the same, right?
So
Yeah,
I guess we
they
got it
didn't get
back.
shut out.
There you go.
Call it even.
Speaking of the Texans, their opponent is our next fantasy stud. Maybe your front runner for MVP of the NFL now. Definitely got to be up there for front runner for fantasy MVP, but we're talking about the real MVP now. Lamar Jackson, 17-24, 222 yards and 4 touchdowns. Also added 9 carries for 86 yards. Another huge game from Lamar. I just don't know what defense are supposed to do against him. He's beat you with his arm, beat you with his legs.
Okay, we say that, right?
Yes.
But the NFL is a game of change. Where do you think he's the number 1 overall drafted quarterback next year? Or do you think it's Mahomes?
It's still got to be Mahomes.
It's still got to be Mahomes? Okay.
Yeah.
But he's definitely top 5.
Oh, yeah. It'll be Mahomes, some combination of Mahomes, Watson, Lamar.
I think Dak's got to be in there. Russell Wilson
Nah.
and
And
Dak.
probably still Rodgers.
You think Rodgers over Dak?
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably where you're
Okay.
getting into that 5 range.
Yeah.
And then you're talking about guys like Josh Allen, if he keeps doing this. Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan.
Yeah, they're not.
Those are staples.
They're all going to be like.
Those are more late round guys that you
9
could
round.
either draft or get week to week.
Well, I mean, that's kind of why, I thought you had a good strategy this year, Keller. You went with Breeze first, who was a solid guy. I mean, he ended up getting hurt, but still. But then you took a chance on someone else, and I think that's what I'll be doing in the future.
Wait, Matt, can you write down this time? Can you record that?
Yeah, 12 minutes. Britt agrees with Ryan.
Okay, thanks. Just want you to save that.
Gotcha. Right
Not
there.
even agrees with me, gives me a compliment. I'll take that.
Compliment. I'm a new man after this Tom Segura show.
You were changed at a comedy show.
Oh, the irony.
Well, that's a good thing.
It was basically like me
Because
going to
it's-
church.
That was probably the most opposite thing of church I've ever been to in my life. But yeah. Sure, if you want
Hey,
to think of
whatever
it
works,
that way.
man. Keep
You had a
going.
better time than any time you had at church, am I right?
I laughed more.
Okay.
He drank more.
Is that fair? I drank more. Yeah.
I don't know,
That's
man.
fair,
Sometimes
too.
you can get some wine and some of
I
those
mean,
services.
I'm not Catholic, so,
No, that's true.
Hey, respect my Catholic. Haven't been in forever.
Okay. Whatever,
Yeah,
lived
what
hard.
the fuck? Yeah, get
Whoa.
the fuck out of here.
All right, I'll end this stream right now.
Oh, Melvin Gordon almost busted one. But anyways, Lamar Jackson.
Keller, shut the
I'm-
fuck up. You're ahead of me.
Okay, well, Melvin Gordon didn't almost bust one, Britt.
Only tell me if Damian Williams goes off, okay?
Okay.
FYI, I'm down by 16. I have Damian Williams. I know I'm in a terrible situation, but
And to put some more perspective, Britt can still make the playoffs with a loss, but if he were to win this matchup, he would control his own destiny. Whereas if he loses, he needs some help.
yeah.
He's going to need help
So
either
either-
way.
Yeah. In the words of Mexico, I would be el fucto if I lose.
Mm.
See,
Y'all went
Sí,
to
señor.
Cabo with me. Y'all can vouch for my bilinguality.
How about you at 7?
you can barely
Yeah.
speak English.
That wasn't Spanish at all, but yeah.
Neither was El Fucto.
You don't know it's not.
Our next stud, the Buffalo stack, as Matt got to experience this weekend. Josh Allen to John Brown. John Brown, 9 catches, 137 yards, and 2 touchdowns. John Brown has been going off all year.
Wait.
Let me pull up-
Going off all year?
I mean, for what you expect John Brown to do.
Okay, well let's temper those.
I said in
He's
our,
had
in our live stream this
What?
past Sunday, I said he's had at least 50 yards in every single game. Most
he
points.
has, but going off, I would say he's gone off
Okay.
once to
I didn't say
3
that.
times this year.
He's a wide receiver too, which is good for John Brown.
I'm not saying that, but you said he's been going off, and he's had
Relatively
8,
speaking.
10, and then 33. I'll get the
He
going
hasn't
off.
been Michael Thomas going off, but he's been
Yeah.
John Brown going off.
Okay, I agree with that.
He's been better than Antonio Brown. He's been the better Brown. Brown is in last name, not.
Whoa, Matt.
Is he the most underrated receiver this year?
What about Golden Tate?
Let's take a look at it then.
Golden Tate
We'll
hasn't
look at
played
the
the whole
score.
year, so
Cheers, Bar.
I mean, I think a guy that's super underrated that people still don't know is a top 10 guy is Tyler Lockett.
That's true. That is
Yeah,
true.
He's the better John Brown. They're the same guy.
I just don't like.
Hey, I'll give you that one, but then Marvin Jones is number 14, higher than John Brown. Not after this week. Well, maybe he'll hold his own.
See, Marvin
but
Jones is basically Tyler Lockett. They're both getting touchdowns, but they're not getting a lot of
Yes.
targets.
And then Julian Edelman, that's someone else who's way under the radar.
The way.
Way under the radar. Damn it. Go ahead and clip that, Matt.
All right.
Someone else is Calvin Ridley. He is probably going to be. Hey, Michael Gallup went off though. Matt, me and you've been kind of vouching for him lately.
Michael Gallup.
Michael Gallup. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
There you
Gallup's
go.
been good.
Matt?
I traded him.
Oh, no, you traded him, didn't you?
Yeah, after our handcuff podcast.
Still doesn't have one touchdown. He has 42 catches, 700 yards. Oh no, I'm sorry. He does have.
Michael
3
Gallup
touchdowns.
has like quite a few touchdowns.
Yeah. No, he's got 3. But he had this past game. He had 9 catches, 150 yards, no touchdown.
Yeah, that's the thing with Dak. Dak was like spreading the ball around a lot. Like Cobb got in a couple times, I
We'll
think.
get to him in a minute.
Okay. Both their running backs, I think, scored on a receiving touchdown.
I mean, this has been an odd year. Like the only out of the top 10 wide receivers, really only 3 of them were drafted like that, and that's Julio Jones, Mike
Michael
Evans,
Thomas.
Michael Thomas, maybe Amari Cooper. He was kind of on that fringe, but I would still consider him. So it's just been kind of a weird year. Hopkins is getting there now.
Yeah, where's Hopkins?
He's number 10 as of last week, so he's probably hanging
He had
around there right now.
11.5, so he'll probably stay just around there.
Yeah.
Where you think John Brown's going to be a good pick for next year? Is he going to keep this up, or is it just kind of a one-year thing?
I don't know. I have a hard time believing in the Bills' offense just as a whole, just because I know how they've been lately. Now, this does seem like a new team, but I feel like they've had a pretty easy schedule this year so far. I don't know.
They have. He'll get we'll find out who he is next week when he goes up against
But it
Chris
helps when
Harris.
you get to play the Jets and the Dolphins 4 times.
That is true. But what I'm saying is coming up, yeah, like we were saying earlier about Josh Allen's schedule, he's got Denver, Dallas, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and New England. We'll find out how good he is these next few games.
I'm going to guess not very.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to really how good is Josh Allen going to be.
That's true too. I think John Brown as a talent is really good. You put him on the Patriots or somewhere or even the Packers, like he'd go off every week, but just with Josh Allen throwing it.
We will see.
Okay, next stud. We got 2 more quarterbacks here to get to. Jimmy Garoppolo, 34 of 45, 424 yards and 4 touchdowns, 2 picks. Also added a carry for 7 yards. I thought this was going to be a Tevin Coleman game to the max. And it was a
why.
game
Why did you think that though?
because Burrito was hurt and they
True.
like to run the ball.
But see, this is where I'm not kicking myself, but what did he do at Arizona 2 weeks ago? 300 yards, 4 touchdowns. What does he do this week? 400 yards, 4 touchdowns at home. Like we should have seen this coming.
Such a small sample size, though. You can't go based off one
It is.
game.
It is. And those are the only 2 games really that he's had to throw the ball. He
And
only
you'd
has
think
2 games
that
over
maybe
300
Arizona
yards.
would have adjusted.
Yes, but he only has 2 games over 300 yards this year, both of them versus Arizona. Now, he does go Green Bay, Baltimore, New Orleans, and Atlanta's D's playing better, and then the Rams. So that is a pretty tough schedule for him coming up.
I think it is. Like, he played Arizona both times, so obviously he's going to throw for quite a bit. But I also think Kittle being out makes him throw a little more, which is weird because Kittle's such a good run blocker.
I don't see where you're going with that.
I just told you where I was going with it. Kittle's a good run blocker. Just
Yeah,
listen
he's a better
to me.
pass catcher than he is run blocker.
Oh, that too. Dwelly got
think
2
what
touchdowns.
dictated this though was you got to look at the game too. It was 16-10 going into halftime. Okay, so they're down. They have to throw the ball. They scored 19 in the 4th quarter, which is what pass from Jimmy G, pass from Jimmy G. And then did y'all see that fumble return touchdown at the very end?
Yeah, they also had an all-time great cover, backdoor cover.
Dude,
If you were on that side of it, it was 9.5. They were up 4. The offensive lineman just lays on the ground, grabs the ball, and chunks it 30 yards behind him. And the 49ers just pick it up and walk in the end zone. Refs don't review it or anything to see if he was touched or down. They're just like, fuck it. 49ers by 10, whereas the ticket was 9.5. That's rough if you were on the Cardinals. For a game, they were up 16-0 in the first half. It's rough.
As some would say, Vegas, man.
Vegas, man. All right, let's get to another quarterback study. Or this might have been the surprise of the week. Of course, he was started in our league by Blake, who went against Britt. This was Jeff Driskel, Detroit Lions quarterback, stepping in for Matt Stafford's got a couple broken backbones or ribs or something.
He's a broken man.
Driskel was 15 of 26, 209 yards and 2 touchdowns. Also added 8 carries for 51 yards and a touchdown. How do you feel, Britt?
Feels bad, man. I don't know what else to say. My team shit the bed. Oh, Mahomes with a long fucking run.
I think
Driskel's your boy, though. He's a Florida guy.
I do like Driskel, yeah. I mean, he's never going to be anything in the NFL, but
well, we'll see.
It's crazy he's in the NFL. When I was in Florida, it was Brissett and Driskel battling for the starting job, and now both of them are starting in the NFL. Pretty crazy.
We'll see if he's going to do anything, because I think rumor is Matt Stafford's probably done for the year.
Yeah,
so
man.
Is Driskel now the pickup?
Feels bad, man. I had that Stafford Galladay stack, and now
he ain't got shit.
Ain't got shit.
I mean, he's been running the ball quite a bit, which gives him like a decent floor. Get a rushing touchdown.
I mean, he's a great athlete.
Josh Allen as far as running the ball.
We'll see. The story was too. I think Urban Meyer recruited him to replace Tim Tebow. He was supposed to be the Tebow guy, but obviously he throws a little better. Little, not much. Yeah.
And he has weapons too, and they can't run the ball.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean, Bo Scarborough actually looked between him and J.D. McKissick. It's not a terrible backfield.
They're gonna be an interesting team moving forward from a fantasy perspective.
They will be. I mean, Dallas doesn't have a terrible defense.
No.
I'm just saying, you could probably this late in the season, if you're picking up guys to stream at quarterback, you could probably do worse than Jeff Driskel.
That is true.
This is where you apologize to everyone who started Driskel, Ryan.
Why?
I won't say why. I just think you owe some people an apology.
I don't remember what you're talking about.
Okay, let's move on.
Hey, how's our Kyler Murray, Deshaun Watson bet going?
It's gotten a lot closer lately.
I'm pretty sure Kyler Murray took the lead this past weekend, wouldn't you say?
Since week 6.
Well, I don't remember when it started. Week 6.
Week 6 on.
Yeah, he does have a bye. So, and Deshaun Watson's already had one, but I think he's up like 20 right now or 25.
Also, I guess your Stafford and Cousins bet has gone down the drain.
I'm gonna win that one.
Oh well, that's not fair. He got hurt.
Yeah.
Remember we said he got hurt.
No. Remember we said they have to play the full season.
Matt, does it say that on the board? Does it say that on the board?
I can write it if you want to pay me some money, bro.
No, we're not making amendments.
No, he remembers. We both agreed. Keller always goes back on his word, just like
Deshaun Watson got kicked in the face.
Huh?
Deshaun Watson got kicked in the face.
No. But has he ever been ruled out to start a game?
To start a game?
Yep.
No.
Exactly. All right. Next stud.
Real quick.
I'm just gonna start making bets with people I think are gonna get hurt, so I never have to pay.
Okay.
We have a YouTube question.
A what?
A YouTube question from EWZY SV. Tyrell Williams this week, I guess next week, against the Jets, or John Brown versus the Broncos.
I mean, I like Tyrell Williams. He's had a good fantasy year from what you needed from him, but you can't bench John Brown right now.
Yeah, I think John Brown's going to have a tough week going against Chris Harris, but you just saw Diggs burn Chris Harris for 1 touchdown, and that's all you really need. So John Brown has that speed too. So John Brown.
Yeah, I'll take John Brown.
Okay, we got a couple more studs to get to. I added another receiver and another running back because we were pretty quarterback heavy this week. The next receiver, DJ Chark Jr., 8 receptions, 104 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And I thought there'd be a little bit of drop off here, switching from Minshew to Foles. He kind of had that connection with Minshew. You really got to play that after the Nationals fucking play that every single at bat in the World Series.
Dude, get over it. It was 2 weeks ago.
We should have been banging on those trash cans more, man.
That's what it was.
But yeah, I expected a little bit of a drop off because DJ Chark had the good connection with Gardner Minshew, but Foles came in. He was his main 8 catches. Think he had something like 14 targets or something stupid like that. 2 touchdowns. The Jaguars are kind of like turning into a throwing team. When everybody would think they would just pound the ball with Fournette.
Yeah, but that's why that offensive coordinator came down. Where'd he come from? I think it was It was Minnesota. It's the offensive coordinator from Minnesota. He came down.
And that means they're going to throw the ball.
Basically, yes. Do you remember last year when Thielen and Diggs were both top 10 wide receivers and Cousins was going off? That's basically the same offense they're running down at Jacksonville now. I mean, Shark's a beast, though.
Not like they haven't given the ball to Fournette either.
No, not at all. But they're obviously a more passing team than they've ever been. Since maybe Bortles' rookie year when he actually did
when he had Allen Robinson and Allen Hurns both going off.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you taking Chark next year?
I mean, as of right now, I'd probably take him 4th round, maybe 5th.
Ooh.
You taking him over John Brown?
Yes.
The upside's probably better there.
Yep.
Young guy.
Yeah, that's tough. There's still a lot of games to be played. We haven't really get to see him with Nick Foles besides this one game and then the 1 quarter Nick Foles played. So
Always look pretty good.
Yeah.
Last stud, I had to get a running back in there. This was the highest scoring running back, which is pretty crazy. He was really 11th in scoring for the week. But my boy, Christian McCaffrey, another ho-hum, 25 points. He had 14 carries for 70 yards, 11 catches for 121 yards. I didn't watch any of the game, but it just seemed, from what I heard and what I saw, Kyle Allen was just absolutely terrible. So it makes sense that McCaffrey would have basically half of his completions. He was just throwing dump-offs all day. But yeah, Christian McCaffrey just keeps trucking along. No touchdowns, still got 25. You think the Panthers were a little premature on the whole Cam Newton situation?
I don't know. I don't think Kyle Allen is as good as they thought he was. I mean, I never thought he was that good.
He looked really good last week against the Packers. Even though they lost, I thought he looked really good in that game. Made some really good throws, but I mean, this was pretty bad yesterday.
Or maybe Atlanta's defense. I mean, Atlanta did hold New Orleans to, It might be a product of Atlanta's defense. We don't know.
Because actually, Atlanta's defense should have been a stud also. I just didn't list them. They had one of the top points.
Dude, yeah, they had a crazy amount of points.
After being a historically bad defense to start the season, they now shut
they were
the
ranked
Saints and the
32nd.
Panthers in back-to-back weeks.
They were averaging 4 points a game, and they put up 28. 5 sacks, 3 points allowed, 4 picks, and 1 touchdown. Pretty crazy.
They did change their defensive coordinator, but no one would have expected that.
I wonder I wonder how many they were started. How many percentage they were started then?
It couldn't have been that much.
They couldn't have
I'd
been.
guess over 25%.
I'd say about 25%.
Yeah, you're going against the
No, they
Panthers.
were only 1.9% owned.
Yeah, so to put that in perspective, in our 20-team league, right? So there's 32 total defenses. There are currently 27 defenses that are owned, which means there's 5 available on the free agency. The Falcons were one of those that are available.
Yeah.
20-team league, so that tells you how their defense has been going this year. They
I
weren't
thought
even
people-
played in a 20-team league.
I thought people might want to chase the points with them going against the Panthers, but I guess not. They should have.
They'll be
Always
picked up this
chase
week,
points.
I guarantee you that.
There's one thing I can tell y'all. Always chase points.
What does that even mean?
Means when someone goes off, they're gonna go off the next week. It's been
Okay.
proven.
That's a tried and true strategy right there. Never fails. So if you want to use that strategy, I'd probably start Jeff Driskel.
Yep.
Uh,
Jimmy G.
I mean, those guys. John Brown.
You're gonna start him anyway.
That's why there's nobody really else on the list. It's kind of like would be crazy to start. But. Okay, we've kind of already updated our GFA. So Matt has officially clinched the playoff spot. He's going to lose this week, but he's just battling for seeding now. I have clinched the playoff spot. I had another dominating win this week. Put up another, 150, an easy 150. That's what I do. Britt, like we said, he needs 16 points from Damian Lillard. If he does, he will set himself up pretty good for a playoff spot. If not, he needs some help from other people losing.
Not looking good.
And it looks like the other playoff team's going to end up being Austin. The butt of many a fantasy joke.
But of just many
Has
jokes,
finally
period.
Finally pulled off enough trades to get a decent team. Now, Tyreek Hill did leave this game with a hamstring injury, which would hurt Turpin since he just traded his flex away for a quarterback, but we'll see what happens there.
Feels bad, man.
I don't really have like another mini segment before we get to the waiver wire. So real quick, Matt, answer this question. We have one more regular season week, and then we start our playoffs week 13. What's the one thing you're hoping happens for your team as you move into the playoffs? What do you want to see happen?
Just overall?
You're hoping for your team as you move into the playoffs.
So I guess this next week is basically the only week.
Well, next week, but going into the playoffs, what do you want to feel good about? Because obviously, if you look at your team, you're not going to say, I want Dalvin Cook to do.
Yeah,
He's already
I got my answer.
From your team. Okay.
I want Sonny Michel or Jordan Howard to fucking sack up and just take over that backfield, so I feel confident starting them in my flex. And I thought I was going to feel okay with Jordan Howard in my flex because he has a pretty good playoff schedule. But now that he went down this past week, not feeling so good anymore. They signed Jay Ajayi. He didn't play at all.
Not only did he go down, but they signed old Jay Ajayi, getting the band back together. All those Eagles running backs.
The one thing I will say is Miles Sanders didn't really do much this past game, so I think Jordan Howard's role is still secured. But I just want to feel good about that flex spot.
Yeah. Britt, how about you?
I need Damian Williams to give me 15, 9
all we're
points,
focused
okay?
on right now.
That's all I need right now. Because if I don't get this, it's going to be an uphill battle next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Marlon Mack broke his hand. James
you got
Conner's
fucked
out.
there, so.
Matt Stafford got hurt. I've gotten fucked in the last 2 or 3
You
weeks.
traded for Matt Ryan, though.
I traded for him, yes. I mean, that actually seemed like a decent trade now, and I got rid of Juju, I guess, at the right time. I don't fucking know. We'll see. It's fantasy.
What are you hoping for, Ryan?
My answer is very similar to you. My one weakness on my team is a reliable flex player. I've rotated David Montgomery, Larry Fitzgerald, Sammy Watkins,
Alshon Jeffrey,
Freeman a couple times. I never played Alshon.
Oh, okay.
But I think I finally got the answer.
Oh.
The guy that I originally drafted. He was on the IR the entire year. He came back this week. Darius Geis of the Washington Redskins had 15.4 points.
Trash take.
I think that he could be a viable flex play.
You stupid.
Thank you.
Granted, he got most of his points on a 45-yard touchdown catch. But he had better per rush numbers than Adrian Peterson. Why would they play Adrian Peterson these last few weeks when they have the young guy Geis that they want to see what he's got? It just makes sense that he would start dominating the carries.
Because they want to
It
lose.
does make sense. But guess what? The Redskins don't ever make sense, okay?
Well, I'm just saying, I think he could. I feel better about him than David Montgomery. God, he's fucking terrible. Well, the Bears are terrible, but
He's not terrible. I believe in Montgomery's talent. I just think they're not using
all
him
the
correctly.
Bears don't. So,
Well, they don't. I think Trubisky is fucking awful.
But
and then
Trubisky's
guys
done.
like the other guys that I can plug into my flex, like Sammy Watkins. I mean, he's a solid floor probably every week. Get a good solid, 7. Larry Fitzgerald had back-to-back good weeks.
Yeah.
Alshon Jeffrey, when he gets healthy, he's always a solid little floor. So I got guys that will just give me my 7 or 8 points. But
I
if
would
I'm
say
looking for a guy
Fitzgerald
who-
going forward is probably your best option.
he's just
There's been games where he looks old.
he had like back-to-back 2-point games.
Yeah. And even
Yeah.
this past game, I think he scored 1 touchdown, and then it was pretty early, and after that, he just didn't do much.
I really would like Alshon to get healthy
Yeah, I really think he could.
because
in
he's
that
a
offense.
touchdown machine when he plays.
Yeah, that's true. Goddard came through with a touchdown again.
And then Ertz had another.
Yeah, Ertz
Good
had a
game.
very good game too. I mean, I feel he could have won that game, but
Feeling good about my chances.
there you go.
Only weakness, like I said, is my flex, but it's still not that big of a weakness compared to other flexes. Patriots defense has kind of a rough some of the playoff weeks, but I picked up the Ravens defense to fill in for them, so feeling good. Like my chances. I'll see you in the playoffs, Matt.
I'll see you. If you make it. To the championship, that is.
Good luck, Matt.
Hey, you rooting for me, though, right, Britt?
100%.
If you don't make it, though.
Oh yeah. Even if I make it, I know I'm not gonna win anything. I'll probably still root.
That's like when we were riding up to Lake Charles Friday morning, we were talking about fantasy matchups, and Turpin was talking about his. I was like, would you rather win or would you just rather see Britt lose? He's like, probably just rather see Britt lose. So
Yeah, that's the way he thinks. Though it's
you
a
just said the
Jamie
same thing.
Williams. What the fuck are you doing, Mahomes? You
Oh, I turned the
idiot.
channel. I forgot. I was watching the
Mahomes
Rockets.
always tries to make a big play. That might be his downfall. Instead of taking what's given to you.
His downfall. Like,
That was Deshaun's downfall this past week.
Oh, it looked like he was trying to hold on to it. What the fuck is he doing?
okay, let's get to the waiver wire real quick. Britt, not Britt. Matt, you got that drop?
Nope.
Okay, cool.
Unless you want to
I'll
wait
do
10
it.
seconds.
Waiver claims.
There you go.
There's actually a surprisingly decent amount of good upside players on the waiver wire this week, I think, personally. We're going to start off with a receiver that has taken the 49ers by storm. We got Deebo Samuel. Helped a little bit by an Emmanuel Sanders injury, but that's back-to-back weeks that he's been very good for the Niners. Why are you shaking your head, Britt?
Fucking
You're just
Oh, I
mad.
thought you were disagreeing with my Deebo Samuel take. I was like, oh, he's been really good.
I think it helped that Kittle and Sanders. Kittle's out, and then Sanders has been banged
Oh
up.
my God, what the fuck? Watch this, Britt. But yeah,
Shut the fuck
they're
up, Britt.
showing it had nothing to do with anything. It was funny. Like, what the fuck was this guy thinking? But he's been the focal point of this throw first offense for the 49ers. I think he'll continue to produce. He's a rookie. They like him a lot. There's a good 1-2 punch with him and Sanders now.
Yeah, they
Well,
keep throwing the
Deebo-
ball like they are.
It's worth a pickup.
Pickup, yeah. Agreed.
Start TBD.
Definitely, yeah. Even in if you play Dynasty, maybe try and trade for him.
Next on the list, he's been on the list every week, but he just keeps producing. Devontae Parker of the Dolphins. Somebody pick him up so we don't have to talk about him anymore.
Devontae Parker, the Marquise Lee of this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Waiver Wire.
Just always on the waiver wire. No one wants him. Because the one time
Yeah,
you
but-
do start him, he's going to get you 4 points.
Yes, and that's he's always had so much hype around him. Like every single year before the draft, they're like, Devontae Parker's the number 1 in Miami. Like he's the number 1, and then you fucking pick him up, and he doesn't do shit for you all fucking year.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Number 1 in
Solid floor
Miami.
this year.
I still don't believe in him, but I don't know. Maybe if Miami gets Jake Burrow or something, be relevant.
It's because Fitzpatrick's playing right now, and all he does is just sling it.
It is, and I mean, yeah, fuck yeah, like better than fucking Rosen just turning the ball over.
Handing the ball off to Balaj.
Next.
Not looking good, boys. 0.5 from Damian Williams so far.
Britt mentioned it earlier. Marlon Mack went out with a broken hand, and the main beneficiary of that was Jonathan Williams, who, I don't know. Jonathan Williams was 0% owned in fantasy football.
I think
But
he
he
played
got
on the
the
Bills and
remainder-
was actually relevant. Not too
Got the
long ago.
remainder of the carries, had over 100 yards. Didn't he have over 100 yards?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had like 11 or 12 carries for 100.
He's going to be now the starting running back on a good team moving forward. They play the Texans on a Thursday night this week.
Pick him up.
Oh, you got Jordan
So, yeah,
Wilkins
this is-
coming back from injury too, though.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, you never know what they're gonna do, and you got Hines back there.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, he looked good in the game yesterday. He's worth a pickup.
Yeah. If you don't have a lot of fab, I might be helping Britt out here. I don't know how much fab you have, Britt. But if you don't have a lot of fab, you're probably not going to get Jonathan Williams, but you might make a bid at Wilkins. Because if he comes back, it's just probably just going to whoever looks better that game, they're going to go with. So
A game-by-game basis.
Yep. What most teams seem to do anyways when their starting running back goes down.
Yeah. Unless you got a solid handcuff like Latavius Murray, you know.
Hey, I got him. It's all that matters.
Matt did acquire his handcuff, but that was the hot topic last week, getting Latavius Murray. Who'd you trade for, Matt?
Michael Gallup, who went off this week. So it wasn't that...
Yeah, but you needed Latavius Murray.
Yeah. I wasn't starting Gallup, and Marvin Jones, he got me 2 touchdowns.
Matt
so.
also made another trade for T.Y. Hilton, didn't you?
Had to get my boy.
Who'd you trade for that one?
I traded Kenyon Drake.
Kenyon Drake, the old...
Oh, that's a good trade.
Well, I
man.
guess
like
you
that
had
one.
him when he was on the Dolphins, right? I was about to say waiver wire pickup. but
Yeah,
you
I
had him
drafted
when
him.
you-
Yeah, I like that trade.
Basically, I drafted T.Y. Hilton. If you want to think of it that way.
Sure.
Basically.
That's how it works.
I guess I drafted DeAndre Hopkins.
Yep.
Fucking awful.
Okay, what about Britt's boy here, Sam Darnold? Britt, as you might remember a few weeks ago, proclaimed that Sam Darnold was going to be his QB. And then he proceeded to drop him the next week after he played the Patriots, like he was expecting him to do something against the
No.
Patriots.
It was after the Jags, dumbass. He played the Jags, and it was fucking terrible.
What's the Jags?
I might have dropped him before the Jags, but when he did
You
it versus
dropped
the
him after the
Jags, I
Patriots
was
game.
later. Yeah. No, the Jags was just awful. And then Miami, too, right? Those were both terrible.
I think it was
games
the
for him.
Miami game that people were super high on him, and he just didn't do
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
And that's probably when
But
you dropped
anyways,
him.
had a good game. Has a decent schedule moving forward.
Yeah, I think I'm wanting to start, a quarterback.
There's going to be better quarterbacks out there
Yeah.
to pick up.
I don't think it's him, though. I think it's Gase.
You think it's Gase? Like, that's
He's-
why he's not doing good?
He's a fucking idiot.
Well, yeah. He had a pretty good
Why
resume.
the
Though. You
Jets
can't blame
hired
them
him?
for hiring him, you know?
Who?
I said he had a great resume. You can't blame them for hiring him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Looked good on the Dolphins.
Yeah, pick him up.
Okay, two next guys. We already talked about him, but Bo Scarborough, who that Lions backfield since Kerryon Johnson went down has been a mess. We heard it was going to be Ty Johnson, and then McKissick proceeded to kind of lead them the next few weeks. Now they finally are playing Bo Scarborough, and he looks good. Out of those three guys, though, Scarborough has to be the guy that you want to own, right?
Yeah,
Or do you
I
like
mean, just
McKissick better?
Hello? Did Britt just
What?
leave?
Look at Britt. Froze.
Here you go. What was I
Oh.
gonna say? I had a thought on my mind that I just see Britt's dumbass
Well,
frozen face
I
over
was
here.
saying Bo Scarborough, but it looked like you wanted to say McKissick.
No, not at all. I was just gonna say
Oh.
Yeah, if it's between those three, I want Scarborough. But for all the people that spent, over 50%
All
of their
that money
fab
on Ty
on
Johnson.
Ty Johnson, you should have
Like
learned
the
your
guy in our
lesson.
league.
It's Matt Patricia, and you're gonna coach for the Patriots. He's gonna do the same thing the Patriots did: fuck you over with running backs, and that's what he's doing. So go spend all your money on Scarborough, and then next week it's gonna be C.J. Anderson back in there, and they don't even have him yet. But will I be putting a bid on Scarborough? Possibly.
Next, we just do a pick. Next waiver wire. Like I already said, I feel pretty good about him moving forward, maybe even in my flex. But Darius Geis came back for the Redskins from the IR. And Britt's having technical difficulties. But Darius Geis, if he is available, you should have already picked him up, I think. But if he's available, go ahead and pick him up. I think he's going to be solid moving forward. I already explained my my take on him. So, yeah, Darius Geis.
Yeah, was he ever dropped in that 20-team league? I doubt it, right?
Doubt it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's people that are owned in that league that I've never even heard of.
Okay, I thought I'd ask. Yeah, Redskins do
Yeah.
run the ball a lot, so you definitely
Yeah,
pick him
and
up.
like I said, they got nothing to play for. They want to see this because he didn't play at all last year. So he's technically like still a rookie. He's played like one game his entire career. So just happened. I know, but why did mine fuck up? There we go. Pick Darius Geis up if he's available. Who just scored that touchdown? Oh, LeSean McCoy.
Fritz hating it.
Britt Smith. Okay, let's go through these last few guys real quick. Got a couple receivers. Randall Cobb. We mentioned. Well, there's a blank screen. No, Britt. Randall Cobb. Dak Prescott's been spreading the ball around. You got Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, and Randall Cobb all going off now in that offense. Randall Cobb, I think, has 2 or 3 good weeks in a row. There's Britt.
I'm back. Sorry, technical difficulties.
LeSean McCoy just scored, Britt.
Did he really?
Yeah.
You got to be kidding me.
Ran in 6 yards.
He's back.
We got Randall Cobb and the other wide receiver, Chris Conley. Now that we kind of mentioned the Jaguars are throwing the ball a lot more now. We mentioned DJ Chark. Chris Conley is their number 2 there. I don't know if you want to pick him up. It's just kind of one of those, fringe wide receivers.
I'll be
I think
waiting
the
on
other wide
DD's.
receivers we mentioned, he's definitely last on the list of guys we mentioned, but still a decent little pickup, especially if you're in like a 12 team. A few tight ends. Kyle Rudolph has now scored, I think, 5 touchdowns in the last 3 weeks or 3 in the last 5.
I can check. I think it's just a beneficiary of Thielen not playing.
Thielen being out. He's kind of like the guy that gets the extra targets.
Yeah. He's had 4 touchdowns in the past 4 weeks.
Okay.
But, like we've been saying all year, if he's available, you probably want to snag him if Thielen's not playing because the tight ends are just always bare.
Yeah. Which is why we got 2 more tight ends on the list. Jacob Hollister, who has been very good for the Seahawks the last few weeks. They do have what's his face coming back? They're activating Ed Dixon, tight end they got.
Probably just a
But I think
necessity.
Hollister's still the guy there.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson seems to like him. Touchdown machine.
Actually got
And
10
then-
targets last game.
Noah Fant of the Broncos. Back-to-back solid games for Noah Fant. They got the young quarterback Brandon Allen in there. Young quarterbacks like to target their tight ends. They're probably going to be throwing in a lot in games. They should be down a bunch, except for when they're up 21-0 on the Vikings and blow that game. But they should be down a bunch in a lot of their games. So as far as tight ends go, you could do a lot worse. All 3 of those guys are kind of in that, just borderline tight end 1. Like we say every week, just who's going to catch the touchdown.
With tight ends, you actually might want to chase the points when it's not a top tier tight end.
Yeah.
Just because.
And Noah Fant, I think out of those 3, I probably like Fant the most moving forward.
I think I like
I get-
Hollister.
I like Hollister, and then Fant, and then Rudolph.
In that order.
Just because we've seen who was it? I forget the name. Earlier in the year with Seattle's tight end went on IR.
Disley.
Yeah, Disley.
Disley.
Like you saw what
Yeah,
Wilson
I guess
could
they've
do,
had solid tight end production all year.
and he's looked good getting the targets. Fant had a lot of targets this past game. I think it was over 10. But then the game before that, I think he just had that one catch for it was like 60 something yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
That
He
really made his day right there.
Last guy on the waiver wire list I have, we already talked about him, so Jeff Driskel is a quarterback.
Yeah.
Anybody else you can think of on waivers?
Oh, I did have, yeah. He's a very deep league waiver wire pickup quarterback if you're really struggling on for a streamer. He had a workout this past Saturday. Colin Kaepernick, I don't know if you heard of him.
Jeez.
Looks good. He's a Super Bowl contender. Can't say that about Driskel, can you?
Oh,
Very
man.
true.
He's had more kneel downs this year than Tom Brady.
Hey, I got to get the word out for my boy, okay? He's been disrespected.
Has he though?
Yeah, possibly.
I mean, shit. I could see Britt doing that workout that he did the other day. Just fucking chucking the ball.
I didn't even watch his workout. Was that what he was doing? Just throwing the ball deep?
Well, you heard what he did, right? He had this scheduled thing at the Falcons practice facility, and basically all 32 teams were going to be there. They were going to have all these high-tech cameras set up because it's where they practice. They get like the all 32 view
Okay,
and
yeah.
all this stuff. And then an hour before the workout, he calls them on and says, "Oh yeah, I changed my mind. I'm going to work out at this little small practice field 100 miles away."
Why did he do that?
He had it planned the whole time.
No,
I don't know, just to stick it to the NFL.
Caper
So
bitch.
So what ended up happening is only 8 teams showed up. The camera angles they have now looks like somebody recorded with their cell phone. Like he was at a high school field basically. That's why I said it looked like a workout. Like you could throw Brit out there, you wouldn't have known the difference.
But will someone give him a shot this year?
This
Not
year,
not this year. The coming next 2 years maybe.
No.
what do you mean by shot?
I don't think he ever plays for an NFL team.
Yeah, I don't think he takes another NFL snap. Could somebody give him a training camp invite or a summer mini workout invite? Could I see that? Yeah, but he'll get cut.
It's a shame.
What are my odds here right now with Damian Williams?
You
I think I
lose.
started the game at like probably 32%, and now I've gone down to about 16%.
Well, if you go
If,
on to the matchup on ESPN, doesn't it tell you your percentage to win and what they think?
I have an 8% chance right now.
Well, there you go.
See, so you're an optimistic guy.
But you're telling me there's a chance.
So he was just such a like. This is what I was talking to I think Turpin today about. Like going into the draft, I told myself I was going running back, and then 3 wide receivers. I didn't give a shit what it was. I just wanted 3 running back. And then when Juju got there, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go with Juju. I want a top wide receiver.
God, you fucked up because if you would have stayed on your strategy, you would have taken Dalvin Cook.
Exactly. And then I would have probably, even if I would have taken, I would have traded. Connor really fucked me though in the first. I feel like after the first 3 picks, maybe even Zeke, they got pretty bad. Is that a violin? Can you turn it up? There we go.
Well, you
all
still
you
have a chance, Britt. If you win
I
next
don't
week,
think I do. I don't see me winning next week without Marlon Mack and Connor.
Pretty sad when you're
Well,
putting
you
your
better-
hopes and dreams of a playoff
you
spot in
better-
Marlon Mack's broken hand.
you better grab one of these running backs. Then you better grab Jonathan Williams. And
I
God, he goes off.
only got $30, fool.
So you're saying to get Jonathan Williams, I just got to bid 31.
32.
You know what, Britt? I'll let you have Jonathan Williams.
But I
probably
won't.
won't even play him. I'll probably play Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams.
Both of them.
God.
Who are the Packers playing?
I think San Francisco.
Oh, good D.
Or
I
I
hope you
could go
make
with or let's see, who does Pittsburgh play? Pittsburgh does play Cincinnati, so but I'm
Jalen Samuels.
man, Connor. Feels bad, man.
All right, so we'll kind of wrap it up right there with Britt. Tune in next week to see if Britt was able to pull it out with Damian Williams. Probably not,
If
but
you see him on the
looking good,
screen,
boys.
he probably won. If he's not here, he probably lost. So
Yeah.
We'll
That's-
know
that's
by
a
next
fair
Monday
assessment.
whether or not Britt made the playoffs. So.
I'm not even gonna disagree with y'all.
Real quick, follow us on Instagram at Fantasy and Chill, Twitter at Fantasy and Chill. Subscribe on YouTube, Fantasy and Chill, the Apple Podcast app at Fantasy and Chill, and then Twitch, Fantasy and Chill. We have 5 different ways you can get a hold of us.
I was thinking
Ask
about
us your questions. We do our best to answer those. I know we try to answer the ones that pertain to Thursday night before those games. But if you ask a question during the week and it's a Sunday game, we usually like to wait till we live stream Sunday morning to answer those questions, which we will be doing again Sunday morning. We answered quite a few of them on the way back from Lake Charles yesterday morning. So keep those questions coming. Hopefully we helped you out. I think we did for the most part.
say one more thing. I'm thinking about opening our Discord to the public and making like a text channel where you can ask your questions. So whenever I'm like bullshitting playing video games, I can just check to see who's asking questions. But you'll find that on Instagram if we do end up doing that. I'll put a link in there. Y'all can come through.
So there you go. The way we record, we're recording through Discord. So yeah, might get as far as that, I know nothing about how Discord works. So it takes our faces and puts them in the computer and takes our voices and we get a podcast out of that. It's about how that works, right, Britt?
Okay, Boomer.
That was terrible.
Is that what I said where that guy fucking ran your ass over the other night? Thanks,
Okay.
Boomer.
All right,
pretty good.
let's end this.
On that note, catch us next week. Hopefully your regular season is only 12 weeks and heading for the playoffs. One more regular season week. Good luck, everybody. We out.
We out.
Potato flew around my room before you came. A potato flew around my room. A potato